Clash in Italy this Sunday night. Yes, Sunday nights. Our Saturday PLE schedule has been interrupted by the Clash in Italy event, which, of course, comes to us Sunday night. Well, Sunday afternoon for most of us. If you're on the East Coast of the United States, then that's where you will be at 2 p.m., hopefully. And if not, of course, you can always watch it on demand. But we've got a lot to get to with the Clash in Italy card. We'll go down the full preview and predictions, rumors, everything else that's going to be coming your way on this show. But first, go ad for you guys. Get rid of those ads you've heard. Right at the beginning of the show, there's a big block of ads. You can get rid of those at patreon.com/WWE podcast. Follow us on X, by the way, at wrestling_audio, or email us at mailbag@wwepodcast.com. So let's get to it. I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to get to the card. Here it is. Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruca for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This seems to be a time for Becky Lynch to still retain. Given Sol Ruca has yet to really establish herself on the roster, she's got a decent reaction, but she's shown over the last several events that she has a bit of a habit of flubs. I think that does take into account whether or not WWE believes she could carry that Intercontinental Championship in a way that would add value to it. And I'm not a big proponent of having the belt make the person should make the belt. Said that many, many times over the years, and I stand by that here. So therefore, I do believe Becky Lynch will retain. Now, does that mean Sol Ruca won't have a good match? Absolutely not. I think she's capable of it. And I think her last couple of outings with her big flubs on Raw, her previous PLE, I think they will come into play here, and she'll learn from them and slow down. Take your time a little bit more and not go 100 miles an hour. I understand your nerves are going, you're amped up, your adrenaline. Understandable. But I do believe that she will this time bounce back in a big way and have a really good match with Becky Lynch. They, again, are capable of it. They've had decent ones in the past, but they've been overshadowed by the flubs and slips and everything else that Sol Ruca, and at times Becky Lynch has had. Becky Lynch has had some really bad ones over the last year, most notably one that wasn't supposed to be a flub, when she was getting her head slammed on the announce table, and it's the most horrific looking head slamming of the announce table I've ever seen in my life. But that said, I am high on this match. I think it'll deliver. I think that Becky Lynch will retain. Again, you could make the case for Sol Ruca. Why? Because WWE has done this in the past. They have done this in the past with young talent where they win the belt to try to give them some momentum. I don't really subscribe to that principle. As I said earlier, I believe that the person should make the belt, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if Sol Ruca were to win here to give her some momentum. Because remember, Sol Ruca, I don't think she's really been on a winning streak as of late. She has not won a lot. So I'm not going to put any money on this match. This is a match I would stay away from. Stay away. If you are a betting person, this one scares the hell out of me because both are, in WWE booking land, are strong contenders to win. Brock Lesnar, Obafemi. Reports are that Brock Lesnar is absolutely not done after Clash in Italy. We have no reason to believe that Brock Lesnar would be done at Clash in Italy. Why? Because if he's not going to retire at WrestleMania, for real, why would he retire at Clash in Italy? No offense to the country of Italy, but you guys aren't hosting WrestleMania. A star like Brock Lesnar, a once-in-a-generation star like Brock Lesnar, is not going to retire at Clash in Italy rather than WrestleMania, which tells you he is going to SummerSlam. And reports are from various news outlets that carry the news, and this isn't just some clickbait stuff, there seems to be some consistency among this story that Brock Lesnar is scheduled to win this matchup against Obafemi. And that's going to send people into a tizzy. I'm all for it. I understand Brock Lesnar's at the end of his career. He's probably going to wrap it up at SummerSlam, as many of us thought months ago. But I don't need him coming back and losing and losing and losing and losing. Because if you're going to build Brock Lesnar a little bit more to SummerSlam, you want him on a hot streak to face Gunther. That's where you want his career to end, you want him looking strong against Gunther. And conversely with Gunther, you want him looking strong as hell as too. So we'll get to his match with Cody in a minute. So that said, tough match still. Whether or not these reports are true, we'll find out. Things can always change last minute. I do foresee this being a longer match, hopefully. I don't need wrist locks and headlocks. I don't need that kind of stuff. But I do want them to provide us with a 12-minute match. I don't need finisher, power move, finisher. I don't need another Goldberg match. Now, I'm not saying Obafemi is Goldberg. I'm saying a Goldberg-style matchup where it's just power moves and kickouts. And I understand that's kind of who they are, but you can at least build to that. Throw some punches and some clotheslines and some suplexes in there. You can do near falls that don't involve finishers, by the way. That is possible. So I fully expect this to be over 10 minutes, hopefully. 10 minutes to me would be the bare minimum. I could also see this being another 5-minute, which would be so disappointing to me. I'm not looking for a 25-minute classic. That's not what I'm after, but you can't tell me they can't deliver at least 10 minutes. Of course they can. So that's what I expect this to be. 10 to 12 minutes. More entertaining than WrestleMania. I wasn't as high in WrestleMania as many people were. I'm the outsider on that one. And who wins? I would have Brock Lesnar win. Now you could say to yourself, well, shit, what is this going to do to Obafemi? I mean, he beat Brock Lesnar. You thought he retired him. Brock comes back, F5s him 4 times. Well, here's what you do. Pretty simple. You don't need to overthink it. If Brock Lesnar's the heel in this, and to most people he is, you have him do something a little under the radar, behind the referee's back, kick him in the balls, deliver an F5, 1, 2, 3. So Brock Lesnar wins, but Obafemi's protected by the finish. And if Brock wins, they are going to protect Obafemi some way. It's going to happen in one way or another. So I think Brock wins. I'm not super high on it. I'd give it like a 55-45% chance. Brock Lesnar wins. And we move on with our lives and people lose their fucking minds on the internet. You know they're going to lose it. Because, oh my God, not only did he not retire Brock Lesnar, but now Obafemi loses? Are you kidding me? Yeah, okay. Again, but now you're feeling emotional about it. You want to see Obafemi come back and tear shit up. So job well done, right? All right. So expect the internet to explode with rage when Brock Lesnar wins against Obafemi. But it's the right call. It's the right call. Okay. Obafemi is going to be just fine, by the way. He's going to be just fine. Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, Women's Championship. I was really high on their match at WrestleMania. I think they both over-delivered in my estimation. They did a great job. And yes, I'm complimenting Jade. She came out at WrestleMania. That was her coming out party. Not in the way we talk about coming out today, but you know what I mean. She arrived to me at WrestleMania officially. She delivered. And I think you're going to see an even better match now. Why wouldn't you expect that? They now have a lot of minutes in the ring. They have that big stage experience. You're going to duplicate that, and I think even more in this match. But I would like this to go 13, 14 minutes. I don't want this 7, 8 minutes. Stretch Jade a little bit. Rhea can be out there doing what she does best. She can call the match. She's a veteran. There's no concern here. I don't think from a quality perspective, Jade has improved a lot. Her mic skills, yes, still need work. Her character, still kind of shallow, but she has come a long way. I like her little group with Michin and BFAB. They're kind of nameless, faceless, but at least they've been pushed into the light a little bit by getting the rub from Jade. And I expect them to have some kind of say in this match. I could see Jade winning here. Now, Rhea could retain. She could retain. She just beat Jade at WrestleMania, and there's a case for this too. You just like Obafemi, you want to protect Jade Cargill here. How do you do that? Well, you could have Rhea Ripley end up, again, not cheating to win, but bad luck by Jade. Maybe Jade takes off the turnbuckle, the turnbuckle pad, and runs into her own trap, and Rhea just takes advantage and wins. You could have Rhea win via roll-up. I hope they don't go that road, but you could. You want to protect Jade if Rhea retains. So my ultimate decision here, Rhea retains, but I'm not super confident about it because Jade has really shown improvement over the last several months. She is an up-and-coming star. She looks like $3 million. Rhea as champion doesn't do a whole lot for a lot of people because Rhea as champion is just, it's like, okay, cool, Rhea's champion again. It feels a lot like when Charlotte's champion. It doesn't really do much for them. It doesn't help them, doesn't hurt them. But Jade, I think, could be a much more, she could be a beneficiary of regaining the women's championship. So I wouldn't put it past WWE to put the belt back on Jade. I know that there's this rule that after somebody wins a championship at WrestleMania, that they're supposed to keep that belt for at least a few months, minimum till SummerSlam. But it's okay to switch things up every once in a while and have Rhea give this back to Jade. I'm not going to be upset about either decision. This is very much to me like Becky Lynch and Sol Ruca in that you can make a case for both. What's my weighting on how I think this, in terms of who I think could win? 60% I think Rhea Ripley wins. 40% Jade Cargill regains the women's championship. In a match that I think is going to be really good and exceed WrestleMania. Don't forget, the crowd's going to also be on fire. The crowd that is going to be just singing their songs in languages I don't understand, for most of us anyway, unless you're from Italy. You're speaking Italian, whatever. I mean, sing your songs, chant away, sing about things that have nothing to do with what's going on in the ring. I know that all the fans overseas make fun of the U.S. crowds, but at least we react to what's going on in the ring and don't just go into business for ourselves and start chanting our sports songs at the wrestling events. Like I'm not a fan of that. I know people in Italy are like, what? You guys are boring. Okay, to me, we react when it's time to react. We don't just start, breaking out into song and dance because we're bored. But I don't know. Again, everybody has their own culture. I prefer the way that the United States is. Now, admittedly, some United States crowds are just pathetic. Even my own hometown isn't exactly, loud. Okay. But the crowd is, of course, going to be on fire for the entire event. Okay. Cody Rhodes, Gunther for the Undisputed Championship. I wish Gunther would win here. I wish he would. I can see him winning, but the problem is if they've got him in line for Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, you're not going to put Brock Lesnar, you wouldn't think, in a championship match against Gunther because Brock Lesnar's not winning. There's no chance. So it really spoils the outcome. And you can also have Gunther go into a match with Brock in a non-title match and then bury the Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania. SummerSlam. You can't do that. So to me, this screws Gunther if he's facing Brock, and there's no chance. I think Cody Rhodes retains. This is a 90-10% weighting for me. Cody Rhodes retains. Gunther's going to put up a hell of a fight. I could even see something weird happening where there's hints of Cody turning heel here. I know that Cody's come out lately and said, hey, no, there's no plans. I don't want to. It's not a good time. People that look at that and go, oh, okay, well, I guess not. Do you understand pro wrestling? Why would somebody say, yeah, I think it's a good time, or we might be doing something soon? What the fuck do you think they're going to do if something's actually happening? They're not going to tell you. Don't listen to anything Cody Rhodes says on this topic. He's a current employee. He's the current champion. You think he's going to spoil current plans? Of course he's not. I would give zero weight to anything Cody says about anything currently going on or what could happen in the future. He's not the head of creative, but he's not going to give you any hints. Why would he? It'd be totally counterproductive. So that said, you could see a hint here of Cody turning heel. You could have some interference. You could have some people interfere here. I mean, Cody Rhodes to me is going to win this, but you need to have Gunther look as strong as humanly possible if he's going to be facing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I know Gunther just can't seem to win the big one here, especially against Cody. I foresee Gunther losing. They'll come up with some way to make Gunther whole on the back end, make him look strong even in the defeat, and Cody retains in what will be a very good match. Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu for the World Championship. This scares the shit out of me because I could see a title change here. These 4 title matches on the show, they all scare me in a way that you can make a case for many of the championships changing hands. This one really could be the one that changes hands because there has been a push apparently lately internally for Jacob Fatu to win and see what he can do with the world title. I don't think Jacob's ready. As a fan of 30 years, I've been watching wrestling nearly as long as Jacob Fatu's been alive. And I don't think he's ready. It doesn't feel like the fans are ready. The crowd support is not where it should be with a guy like this. He should be living in the Intercontinental U.S. title picture. He should have been there since the beginning of the year, and they just have pushed him into the title picture over the last several months. I think that's a mistake. If you don't believe me and you're like, what are you talking about? His crowd support's great. I've heard people say, his crowd support's awesome. What the fuck are you listening to? Go listen to an episode of Raw when Roman comes out and they're face-to-face and Jacob Fatu comes out and they're face-to-face cutting promos on one another. The crowd doesn't know what the fuck to do. They don't know what to do because they're conflicted. That's not a good place to be if you're trying to push somebody forward as a top babyface like Jacob, assumingly that's what they're trying to do. I don't think they know what to do with him. And well, the fans don't. The fans are looking at this going, hey, we were behind this guy. He was this just kind of wild animal, and that's kind of the way he acts and the way he talks, unfortunately. But the fans were behind him when he was doing his own thing, and then he gets involved with Roman, who's not a heel. He's a babyface. And you have the fans going, well, we like Roman. He's a big star. He's not here that much, and Jacob's kind of our new guy. I don't know what to do. And we've seen tribal combat and Samoan rivalries for the last 4 fucking years. We don't need to see anymore. We don't need any more tension between Solo and Jacob and Jay and Jimmy and Roman and all of it can go away. We don't even care who's the head of the table anymore. That was awesome and fun while it lasted, but that was years ago now. I know Jacob's kind of a new player, but the timing is way off. The timing is way off and too soon. The fans are going to not know what to do. There have been boos for Jacob. Go listen for those of you somehow believing that the crowd support is at an all-time high for Jacob. It's not. So it's a very subdued kind of mild crowd that just they got their knees cut out from underneath them and going, what I don't know what to do. What are we doing? I like Roman as champion. You know, he kind of just won the world title. He had a 5-star plus match with CM Punk at WrestleMania. He's not a heel. We still like him. We appreciate what he's done. He's now approaching legend status in the company. Jacob's our new guy. We kind of got behind him. You guys put him, and it's oil and water right now. And you can hear the fans listening to the promos. No one's going, oh, like they're just sitting there kind of listening and groaning and mildly cheering or mildly booing because it's a bad combination. So not that they can't have a good match. Jacob Fatu will put his body in the line. Roman, we know what he's capable of every single time. But this is not a match that interests me other than the fact that they could shock the world here and have Jacob Fatu win. Now, I've predicted so far that every champion is going to retain. That's not going to happen. I know I'm going to be wrong with at least one of my picks on the championship side. This could be the one. Now, there could be interference here with CM Punk. There could be interference by Drew McIntyre. These two guys that we haven't seen since WrestleMania could absolutely pop back up. And having them involved here, sure, you could. To screw Roman Reigns, if CM Punk wants to continue his program and have a rematch with Roman at SummerSlam, sure. You could. But why put the belt on Jacob? It's not going to do the World Championship any favors. Jacob Fatu is not a deep character. I know they're trying to tell us, well, a hard childhood and I was incarcerated. It's not a flex, dude. It's not a flex that you were arrested. What was it? Armed robbery or battery or something. He was armed. It wasn't anything incredibly serious like murder, but he was arrested at 18. Am I supposed to feel some kind of sympathy for you? Is that what is it a redemption story? Is that it? Is that all I'm supposed to care about with Jacob? Is that the big hook? That I'm supposed to feel something for a guy that can't speak proper English on the microphone, comes up with these euphemisms that make no sense? Yachting, whatever the hell he says. Am I supposed to be impressed by that? Am I supposed to be impressed that he came out of prison and now he's trying to make a life for his family? No. Again, I know what they're trying to do. I'm not buying it. A lot of it has to do with I just despise his character. And seemingly as a off-camera person too. I'm not a fan, as you know, but just looking at this from just wrestling, not personal. You can't tell me Jacob Fatu is in a position that if they don't give him the world title, his character is screwed. Like that you can't tell me this is what they've been building to. Oh my God. No, it's not. This matchup is horrible. Not the match, the matchup. The difference is the wrestling match is going to be good to very good. We know. It's fine. Jacob Fatu is good. He's good. In the ring, he's fine. Just the personalities in the story is wrong time, wrong place. All right. I know I'm really just not clear on how I feel about things sometimes. I need to be a little bit more eloquent when I speak. But all right. So now that I've probably pissed off a good number of you, and that's fine, we're going to move to some... do I have an email? I might have one. I do. This is Curtis. He said, hey, Matt, remember us talking about WWE shop t-shirt prices in Canada and just pricing in general on the WWE shop? I'm at it again. I expressed before that Sheamus is my favorite wrestler of all time. Here's some lore that I'm getting off topic, so heads up. I started watching wrestling in '08 as a 10-year-old. Yes, I missed the Attitude Era and pretty much almost all the Ruthless Aggression era. I remember begging my parents for an Edge t-shirt because he is what drew me to wrestling at the time. I did get one from the WWE store in Niagara Falls. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. When Sheamus came up, I completely switched gears to him as a young guy with a huge future and a unique look and just a brutal ass kicker. Remember him beating up Jamie Noble and Jerry Lawler? That really sold me on him and his dominance in just the first year or two. Shout out to my dad, Brian Buck, who listens to your podcast here and there, for buying me my first ever Sheamus shirt from WWE shop. I forget how much they were back in time, but that was far cheaper than it is now, obviously. I recently found a shirt from 2014, still in the packaging, brand new on Facebook Marketplace. The guy sold it to me for $15. I was going to buy a new Sheamus shirt on WWE Shop Canada, but with taxes and shipping, it was going to be $61. On sale. Yeah, fuck that. Anyway, the $15 shirt I got from Facebook Marketplace, that's what I'll be repping at the house show I go to in August. I just want to express to you and everyone listening, if you want WWE merch, try Facebook Marketplace. Also, if you want me to send feedback about the house show, I'll do that, no problem. I'll obviously enjoy the show like you always ask us to, but I'll send feedback. Hope this email. No, thank you so much, Curtis, for the information. It's not too much, because this is just such a window into the problem of WWE pricing. And there really hasn't been much of a resolution here. You go from $15 to $60. I mean, what is that? Like 4 times the price? That's a great tip. Facebook Marketplace. Now, the only downside of Facebook Marketplace, as we all know, is it's awkward. Sometimes you're going to meet somebody at their house or a parking lot like you're doing a drug deal. It's weird. You never know who the hell's going to show up. You don't know what character is going to, come strolling out of their car. Right? So that's the only thing, is like it requires face-to-face, which we all these days tend to avoid. I mean, I certainly do. I'm an introvert. I don't want to fucking see anybody ever again. I mean, I really couldn't. Like outside of my family, I'd be like if I never see this person again, I really don't give a shit. And that's just who I am. I don't wish bad things on people. I don't wish for people to be harmed or go through pain or suffer. I just don't want to be bothered. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Does that make sense? Maybe some people are like, oh, I'm an extrovert. I get off. Here's the thing with me. My social battery has about like an hour in it if I have to be forced to talk. And then I need like 24 hours of recovery. The way you could torture me is going to a conference at like a hotel meeting room and going through like meeting after meeting and like breakout groups and all that bullshit. And then at the end, you're like, oh my God, I finally get to go back to my room and just collapse on my bed. And then you get a text from your manager or whoever it says like, oh, we're all going to meet up for, some team bonding at a dinner or something. Like, then you're expected to go to dinner. Fuck that. Like, I don't care if I get fired. I will never go to one of those things. I don't want to see, I don't know how people mix personal and business life. I've never understood that. This has nothing to do with you, Curtis. I don't know why I'm talking about this. So I apologize. I'll get back to your email in a minute. But I just wanted to say that. I have no interest in socializing with anyone at all in a professional setting outside of what I need to do for work. Right? I can bullshit. I'll be professional. I know how to do that. But I don't know how people are like, hey, let's meet up for drinks after work. What are you talking about? And then there's like these group, let's go to, we're all going to meet at like a baseball game. Like, what are you talking about? No, I'm absolutely not going to do that. When it's time for me to leave, you don't exist. Like, I'm paid to be here and do my work. I don't have any interest at all. I've got enough stuff going and floating around my life. I don't need to incorporate your need to socialize in my schedule. I'm good. Again, I don't wish harm on anybody. Just you do your thing, man. Get the fuck away, Anyway, back to your email, Curtis. So that's a great thing about having your own podcast. You can just do and say whatever. But that is absurd. Outside of the weird part of a Facebook Marketplace meetup, it's a great piece of advice. So thanks, Curtis. All right. I think I do have, and I don't know if it's meant for the mailbag. So I'm going to read it in my brain first before I read it on the show, because I got a direct message on Patreon, which, by the way, you're more than willing, and I welcome the messages on Patreon. I will read them here if you want. This is actually, I'm gonna read this, paraphrase it from an old friend, Uncle Chris. I'm not gonna read. I'll read again. Paraphrase this thing so it is more listenable for the show. Uncle Chris, first of all, great to hear from you. It's been a long time. I actually reposted one of our shows we did from years ago, where I forget what we covered, some PLE, and we went like an hour and a half. It was great. Yeah, I remember you, definitely. So he says that I'm sorry I kind of let you down in not texting or anything else. I still have your podcast in my account. I still want to support you, but I did not listen since a year, and a lot of changes have gone through a lot of changes. I would still love to talk again if you don't mind. You still do interviews. How's life? How's the podcast? Are you healthy? Yeah. Okay. So, Chris, I haven't done interviews in a long time. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years since I've had a co-host regularly on the show, and no bad blood with anybody at all. None. I just, with my schedule and honestly, just my energy levels and everything else, I don't want to hold a time with somebody and then not be able to meet it, because my time of recording the show is not the same. I don't do it the same exact time every week, and I don't want to have to mess with other people's schedules. What I may end up doing is doing a live call-in format. Now, I used to use Blog Talk Radio. They no longer exist. So what I may do is find another format. I know there's Riverside. They're expensive, but you can do some kind of call-in format with Riverside, where when I go live, then people can call in. That way I'm not, setting up a specific interview. That doesn't mean I'll never do them again, but it allows things to be more flexible. It's just money. It's expensive for Riverside, but they're good. So as far as life, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into that. I don't have anything horrific going on. Kind of an open-ended question that I don't want to bore everyone with on the show. People listen to this for the wrestling, but busy, man. I mean, if you've got kids, I've got kids. You just go through life and you have flashes of things. And it's crazy how you don't remember most of your life. This was kind of freaking me out the other day, where I'm laying there, and when you think to yourself, like, you seem to only be always worried about the next thing. At least that's how I work. I'm worried about always the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And the old saying of "be where your feet are" is a great phrase, and something I've tried to hold on to as of late, because there's so many times that you're always thinking about the next thing. You're never living in the moment. Or if you're in the moment of something cool, you're worried about recording it on your phone. So you're looking through the screen of a phone rather than being in the moment without the screen. That kind of thing. But when you look through your pictures on your phone, like many of us do, you look, oh my God, I forgot about that. I can't believe that was 5 weeks ago. I can't believe that was 5 years ago. I can't believe. You blink and you're just like, holy shit. I'm 41 years old now. I feel like I was just 21. I can remember, that kind of thing. But it just freaks me out that there's so much of your life that you actually can't recall at a moment's notice. You remember kind of big moments, flashes of things, weird things your brain hangs on to. But for the most part, you can't recall a specific day unless, of course, you have it on your phone. That'll help. You have a text or a picture or a video. But that was kind of freaking me out. It's like, oh my God, first of all, statistically, I'm more than halfway through my life. Like, I'm closer to being dead than I am being born. Statistically. Men, I think in the United States die at like 76, 75. So I'm 41, do the math. I'm like 55% through my life. Statistically, of course, barring something weird, or if I do have a longer than expected life, whatever, just averages. But the podcast, okay, that's going well. I'm healthy, no medical issues. Although I will say this, not that you guys need to know, I recently did have a little bit of a procedure done, and it's something routine. And I'll say I won't be able to have children ever again. And I will say, for the men out there that are considering this, I'm going to be totally straight with you. Number one, I think it's obviously it's one of the most effective forms of birth control. Number one, it is, and it's less invasive than, of course, having your wife or your girlfriend getting their tubes tied. It's less invasive, less risk as well. And it's also more effective than birth control or other forms of birth control like condoms. I mean, it just is. But I'm going to be straight with you. If you're wondering, like, I don't know, I've heard horror stories. I don't know. Is it hurt? I will say this. I had it done a month ago, and it doesn't feel great. All right. So, I mean, you're laying on the table, you're basically naked with the doctor. You get over that real quick, because after you feel what they're doing to you, you just don't give a shit about that. Like, you're just like, they've seen everything you can see down there for most of their careers. Now, the shot that they put in to numb you felt like they were shooting the needle right into my ball. Like, it did not feel good. It's a feeling I will never forget. I wasn't screaming on the table like I was being tortured, but you're just sitting there and you're sweating. And you have a level of pain, but it's a tolerable level of pain, but it's right at that edge of just like, and they shoot you up and they start their thing. And the whole procedure is like 15 minutes. It is quick from a medical standpoint or a procedural standpoint. It's quick, but goddamn, I will say, when they're pulling on the cords to snip what they need to snip, it's a feeling you will never forget as long as you live. And the women out there who are listening, we don't have a huge female audience, but those that are listening, I understand you're going to say, it's not like giving birth. Well, here's the thing. Giving birth is a natural process. This is not a natural process. This is not something normal, right? Nature didn't intend you to get your tubes clipped, right? And I'm not saying that it's more painful than going through birth. That is not what I'm saying. But you know that your wife or girlfriend will say, well, try giving birth. Again, potato. That's not our argument. Our argument is not that it's more painful than birth, but that's what women will try to come at you with, as if it's some kind of contest. Nonetheless, that feeling of the tubes being pulled, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I don't even want to think about it. It's not that it's the worst pain you've ever felt in your life, like stepping on a knife. It's not like that sharp, searing pain of like getting shot or something that most of us haven't, but it's not like that. It's just this fucking, like, this feeling that it's just so unnatural, and it's like they're pulling a cord out of you or something, and they kind of are. Oh my God. I'll just leave it at that. It's not pleasant, but the recovery does take, about a week. You're back to doing what you normally do. I was still doing workouts a day or two later just to keep myself moving. But yeah, I wouldn't go ride a bike. I wouldn't do jumping jacks or, jump squats. But it's something that you could get over in a week. I mean, it's been 4 weeks and I still feel a little bit of like something here and there, like as far as weird, I won't get too graphic, but if you really search, if you know what I mean, you can definitely still feel a little something, but it's not a pain. It's just kind of like this, that feels a little off, but it's improving. So anyway, I don't know how the fuck I got onto that. I didn't mean to even overshare that, but yes, I hope all is well with you, Chris, as I overshare my life. All right. Well, I think, what time is it for me? It might be time for me to wrap this whole thing up here, but that's my preview and prediction show for Clash in Italy. I'm going to be doing a video, putting out a blast, quick shot of my predictions, running through it in under 5 minutes for those of you on Patreon. That's where the video will be. For those of you who want to check it out, patreon.com/WWE podcast. It's the best place to go for your ad-free stuff. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating. It really does help us in the rankings and everything else. So if you hate us, if you hate us, I've had people give me 1 stars and think they're hurting me. They're actually kind of helping me because the more reviews you get, the more that it kind of bumps you up because people are interacting with your show. So the algorithm's like, oh, well, they don't like it, but they're still interacting and care enough to interact. So it pushes us up a little bit. So sure, give us that 1-star rating. It doesn't matter. Well, it does, but it doesn't matter. And it actually helps us more than hurts. But that said, I'm not encouraging you guys to give us, review bomb me at a 1 star. But certainly if you feel that we've entertained you, give us that 5-star rating. And I'll be back. Let's see, Sunday night. Yeah, I'll be back Sunday night. It'll time out perfectly with the weekend review that will turn into a Clash in Italy review. Videos coming as well. For those of you who love the video, I've been much more adamant about doing that a couple of times per week. And that's on Patreon. Again, follow us on X. Search for us. You know what the name is. You can certainly also support us on TikTok or anywhere else. I'm on Instagram, but I don't do much on Instagram. There's just too much to post to. I got to say, there's just too many things to post and reformat and re-record. I mean, it's a pain in the neck. I see why people hire social media managers. Makes sense. It does. It sounds like a made up job 15 years ago, but now it's like a real thing because companies, businesses, independent podcasters like myself, we don't want to fucking deal with it. It's just like, here's the stuff. Here's the content. You do your thing. But anyway, we're a one-man show over here, at least from a production standpoint or pushing it out. I certainly appreciate my co-hosts that have joined us, from Mario to Amanda to Daniel, who does the main events every week. I appreciate it. You guys are a good team. So, all right, I'll end it there. Didn't mean to overshare it today, guys. I really didn't. It's a weird day. Everybody, we'll talk soon. Enjoy Clash and take care.
Thanks for listening to the WWE podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.